Hey guys, welcome back to Around the House with Steve, where we discuss and talk about things that you should have been taught but probably weren't. Today we're going to talk about simple pool maintenance. One of the first things that's very important for your pool is backwashing, especially when you just opened up. It's spring right now. I just opened up the pool and I've let the sand filter out the water, and now we got a bunch of organic matter and stuff in the sand. We have to get rid of that so it can continue to filter. Also, we don't go up too high in pressure. If you don't have a pressure gauge on yours, make sure you do. If your pressure gauge is broke, you can get one on Amazon pretty cheap. I recommend the glycerin filled ones like I have here. And you'll kind of understand once you get it set up and everything's where it should be, you'll know where your gauge will sit, and then you can be able to judge by that whether it needs to be backwashed or not, because the pressure will go up. I know based upon what I'm seeing on my gauge that it has taken most of the organic matter out of the pool. So what we're going to do is we're going to backwash it. So what I recommend doing, I turn the unit off, come here, push this down and move it to backwash, and then we turn the unit back on. It will reclaim its siphon here, and then we start coming here, and I'm starting to backwash and filter out this filter. You want to use your sight glass. You see all the dirt coming out of the sight glass. See how dirty that got? That is very important. Now we're going to watch that sight glass, and we're going to keep an eye on it. If you look at over there, how dirty that water is coming out. It's almost gray. And we'll come back to the sight glass. It's also almost gray here. You're going to watch for that sight glass, and we're going to wait. It usually takes anywhere from 30 seconds to 2-3 minutes, depending on how dirty it is. This will start to clear up. And if you see, it's starting to clear up right now. And we're just going to run that till it runs clear. Now, if you want to watch your skimmer, you never want your skimmer, the water to fall below the bottom of the skimmer, because that's what draws in water. So you want to watch your skimmer. I try to keep mine halfway or just a hair below half. If you're doing this and you find out you don't have enough water in your pool, then you're going to have to backfill it with your garden hose. But if you notice here, we're starting to clear up a little bit. And you also notice there that the water coming out of the discharge is starting to run clear. And that's what we're shooting for. Now, I backwash mine every couple of days. Some people do it every week. I recommend it minimum every week. And it really kind of depends on how often you run your pump. If you have a variable pump or a constant speed pump, this is a constant. So I actually have a timer on this one, and it runs full blast all the time until the timer will turn it off. In the spring, when I'm really trying to filter the water and get the organic matter out, I run it 24/7 for a couple days, and that's what we're looking at here. In the summer, I might run it 8 to 12 hours a day. You got to give the pump time enough, depending on the size of the pump. It has to cycle all that water. That's about 23,000 gallons of water. So you got to give it time to cycle all of that, and it takes hours to do that. So you just can't turn your full pump on for about 2 hours and think it's cleaning the water. It's not. Okay, so now this is running clear. So the next phase we're going to do, we're going to shut it off. We're going to move it over to rinse here, and we're going to turn it back on. Now what that's doing, it's letting the sand settle, and we're not pushing a bunch of sand back into our pool. So it's rinsing the sand off, getting it to settle back down. That only has to run for about 30 seconds. We see our sight glass is running clear, and then we're ready to go right back to filtration. Right, and then we will turn that back on, and then you're done. You have officially backwashed your pool, but we're not completely done yet. I'm going to turn this off, and I have a automatic chlorine dispenser, and it's a chlorine feeder, whatever you want to call it. And this does it automatically for me. There's a dial on the side, and it goes from 0 to 10. Now in the spring, obviously I put it on 10. I want to get as much chlorine in there and get the free chlorine up. So we're going to take our chlorine tablets, and we just dump them right in there. right? And we make sure we dispose of that. Now, one of the secrets that I've been taught over the years from some of the people who've been around pools longer than I have is this right here. Now, this is not chlorine. This is basically baking soda. It's sodium bicarbonate. You can buy these from Arm & Hammer. They're not expensive. I get a case, and I'll put 1 or 2 of these in a week, and it keeps my pH maintained, keeps it balanced. I know my pH is a little high right now, so I want to lower that. So I'm going to add 2 of these, and this will naturally lower my pH. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to put my filter back on. You want to check your ring here. Make sure that your ring is still good on your filter, and it looks okay. And then we're going to settle that back down. There we go. And then turn the machine back on. You want to look at your siphon and make sure we're still drawing a siphon, and we are. And we're good to go. So if this helped, I'm glad. Make sure you backwash that pool. You want to maintain this as best you can. You don't want your sand to get too far gone, because then you're going to have to replace it, and that's a whole nother video of how to replace sand. I just did this a while back, so I know it's fresh. But do yourself a favor. Monitor your chemicals. Get that organic matter out of that pool for the spring. Run your pump, but make sure you're backwashing. Let that sand work for you. When you're first opening your pool up, run that pump 24/7 for a couple days. Really get that water filtered, all right? I know I had a question from a friend wanting to know what I set my chlorinator at. Well, this particular unit's 3, but you really got to kind of play with it. You know, if you set it on 2 and it's not enough, you just keep dialing it up till you get enough free chlorine where it maintains that, and that's all you want. And then you don't have to touch it anymore, and it's automatic. So if you like what you see, or you have any suggestions, comment, like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And until we meet again, bye, my friends.